in couple of minutes. Please bear for
Yeah,
couple of minutes.
Srinivas, I
Yeah.
came online.
Yeah,
There
great.
was some issue with my
Okay,
Teams
great.
again.
Yeah, you can continue.
Yeah, Gopal sir joined, I think.
Gopal sir, yeah, I think he about to join. Yeah.
Okay, just let me check.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just start. Hello everyone, this is Ashraful here from Ruggedboards. So today, it's been quite some time that we have conducted our open sessions as well as our technical sessions some days back, and we have come across with a different webinar today. That is nothing but it's a free webinar for industrial IoT and AI ML job opportunities, especially for students and current pass out students. And so we will try to showcase a lot of things today in the especially on terms of embedded IoT and AI machine learning, where the new technology is actually growing, right? So stay tuned with us. We will give the session to Mr. Gopal very soon. I hope Mr. Gopal, if you have joined, can you confirm? Yeah, Gopal sir has joined already.
Good evening, Ashraful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Good
joined,
evening, sir.
Ready.
Yeah.
I would take the session. I would take the session and then followed by Gopal sir can participate in the panel discussion.
Yes. Yeah. So thing is like along with me, I have Mr. Vasu, who is the managing director of FiTech India, and he will be taking the sessions today. And along with me also, I have Mr. Srinivas and Mr. Gopal Api from FiTech, basically, who will be taking the sessions, especially the Q&As and other technical discussions and all those things. So I welcome everyone today, and also I welcome all the people who are joined in our YouTube sessions. So without further delay, let me give the stage to Mr. Vasu.
Hey, good evening all. I hope I'm audible, and thank you for joining us. So today this session is more oriented towards the freshers and also for the pass outs basically. So last couple of sessions we have executed most of them for the working professionals and the developers basically. So this session is especially for the future developers basically. So myself Vasu, so I'm heading FiTech India operations, and then having the electronics and software career since last 20 years. I started my first software programming in 1993. That was my schooling days. So I just wanted to share my experience and then the opportunities in industry. So let me share my screen. So today we are trying to help the freshers, students who are 2020 pass out basically. So I think it's a very special batch. 2020 would be a very special batch wherein which you have came across multiple hurdles, and then like I think this would be the unforgettable year of your life, I believe. Hopefully you don't face bigger challenges in future, but at least in our career when we see so this is the most remarkable year. So here we just wanted to support you guys to really 1 minute. I will just power up. Yeah. Okay, so let me just check it is powered. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so I just fixed my power adapter so that like we don't drop in between. So yeah, so as you see, the basic agenda of this session is really to understand the different industry verticals and then the company associated in these verticals, the applications and the products solutions which are built by these companies, and what are the latest technologies used by these, so that like these things will open up your market opportunities. So the basically the idea was to open up or the describe what are the different market opportunities are there for freshers basically. So I would start with introducing you the industry verticals and run couple of use cases. So it would be more interactive session. So please feel free to put comments in the chat box. If you guys have attending from YouTube, you can also leave the questions, and then like it would be more an interactive session. You guys, so we are ready. So let's start with the industry vertical. So if you really go to the industry basically, so you would find a lot of business verticals. So here what we tried is basically to help you out to give major 5 verticals. So if you really see the industry 4.0 or industrial automation basically, the second one is mobility and transportation. The third one is medical and healthcare. So nowadays you would have seen the necessity of medical and healthcare devices during the pandemic. And then finally the smart cities. So these are a couple of big umbrella of industry verticals. Industry verticals, and in this there would be sub business verticals. For example, in industrial automation, your building management or factory automation, factory control, energy solutions basically. So a lot of sub verticals would be there. So but like I just wanted to explain a couple of jargons in these verticals. So let us quickly run to your industry 4.0 definition, right? So now so for you, for the students who have been in your final year or the pass out guys, basically you might have learned a couple of software programming like C or C++ programming, and from if you are from a computer science, so you might have learned a little bit more programming languages like Java and other Python and other programming languages. So now for you guys, I just wanted to introduce the Industry 4.0. So this is earlier we used to call industrial control and automation, and then like now the tech name is Industry 4.0. So let's see what exactly Industry 4.0. Right. So it is all about the how the industrial automation has evolved in the decades. Right, like it's in centuries basically, not decades. So in 17,000 era basically, so the very first kind of machineries which has been invented basically to add more power other than the human, right? Like so for example, you have been cutting the woods by your hand, then what you do it is basically you develop some mechanical machineries which can really cut the woods, right? And then those to that machineries, again it is more a mechanical designs which helps. And then in the next era basically in next era you started adding the electricity electronics power basically, and which has been produced in mass. So the second era of your Industry 4.0 or Industry 2.0. So Industry 1.0 is more towards your mechanical era. The second one to which then you have started automating and then like adding the electricity, so the electronic part to it basically, and then also it enabled you to produce in mass. So the mass production of the machineries and the mass production of the products basically started in this era. So the Industry 2.0. So now slowly what you have done is, apart from these machineries, so the first step was to add more power to the machinery. So that's how you have added electronics part to it, and then made the processes in such a way that like they are produced in bulk. Now the next step was basically to automate the things, so that like more data, and then like you can control the devices remotely. So that's how the Industry 3.0 started. So to the electronic devices, now you know the communication part can be added, and then like it can be automated by adding the computerization. So the computational power has been added in the Industry 3.2 variant, basically where you have connected the machineries with computers, then the invention of the PLCs, right? So the programmable logic control devices has been added to these machineries, and then you have got Industry 3.0. Now the next and the current industrial revolution is Industry 4.0. So what is this Industrial 4.0? So earlier the machineries used to send the data to the system, but now in current era what we are trying to do is, anyhow they can exchange the data, so why can't machine to machine the data can be exchanged, and add the intelligence to these machines to operate together, right? So now we will see the example. So now what you have seen, so similarly your thought process, so the machine learning and artificial intelligence has been added to these machineries because they already can talk with each other. So the communication has been brought out to the next level, and intelligence has been added, so which is your Industry 4.0. So for understanding this thing in a very simple way, I would give you a very latest use case. I believe most of us who are residing at tier 1 city or tier 2 cities, basically I think now Amazon is reachable to tier 3 cities also. So I believe you have been using some or the other e-commerce websites. So say example your Amazon or like your Flipkart, Snapdeal. So these are the different e-commerce business platforms you have been using to order your materials. Right now, you would be seeing that like you have ordered something, and then in couple of hours or couple of minutes itself you get the update status saying that like your material has been delivered, or like the delivery the packaged and it has been shipped. So the material has been shipped and it will reach you by tomorrow morning or in couple of days basically, right? So what happens, so who is taking this material from one place to another and then able to serve you? So like you, there will be thousands of users who would be ordering online. So now how these thousands of packages are packed and shipped in couple of hours or couple of minutes basically, right? So that's the kind of one use case. So it's very simple. You assume how many Amazon users have been ordering but from 4 to 5. So now you are listening to this workshop and then parallelly you assume all over India how many Amazon users would have placed an order. Then how these packages are shipped within couple of hours, right? So let's see the use case. So because here we wanted to support you for your job opportunity, so I have taken a small example of Indian company which has been recent. It is a few years old company basically, and then this is gray orange is the company which is a Noida based company basically, and they have the AI ML platform which is called Gray Matter and the Ranger robots. So let's you just try to see how it works. So if you really see the kind of industry 4.0 we have been discussing, the definition of industry 4.0 we have been discussing. So I just wanted to show you one of the use case, and then it's not somewhere in US or Europe. This is something which is happening in India, and it happens, you are the end user who have been using this facility. So knowingly or unknowingly, these are the robots which are working for you, right? So when you place some order online to the e-commerce, so their warehouses which promises or like which are able to tell you that like within half an hour or 1 hour that like your package has been shipped basically. So these are the robots, or these are the whole machineries basically which has been working together. So it's not only about robotics, but it is all about, you can these, each of the rack is designated robot identity and the data available or the products available in each of the rack basically, right? And systems are talking. So when you saw your arm here, right? So this arm is talking again with this arm has to pick up couple of products from each of the rack. So this rack has to arrive to this, which is done by the this robot, which is moving the rack to it basically, and then this arm, robotic arm, picks up your orders and put it in a basket. So once the your products, all the products has been collected in a basket, they move for a packing, right? So you can see how they are packed, and then like and depending on the different areas or so, they are sorted to which it has to be shipped basically, and your order is closed. So this is one of the simplest example we wanted to showcase for you. And then like it is the company from India, right? So this is a company from India. So I'm not talking about a global player. I took a small example of Indian company which is doing to this level, and then we will talk about the technologies, more technologies behind these things. So this is one of the use case which I wanted to give for your Industry 4.0. The warehouse automation is one of your application, right? So similarly, now you can correlate the automation in different industries, whether it is a manufacturing industry, whether it is a kind of a food industry basically. So FMCG basically companies. So now today the kind of small daily food packets which you are consuming, say let us suppose it's a kind of a Haldiram bhujia you are, or like you are ordering your turmeric or chili powder. So how these packets are packed and moved basically. So there is a lot of industries, manufacturing industry, food manufacturing industry, vehicle manufacturing industries, and you assume whatever you are consuming and then which are produced in India basically, right? So the level of automation or the quantity of automation processes which can be implemented in each of these industry would really brings you a lot of opportunity in the automation. So which So now continuing to the automation industries, so a couple of more product examples. I would say the data loggers you would have seen for all these, whatever you have been seeing basically. So the data logger, again comes into multiple industries to sense the data and transmit the data, analyze the data. Today, whatever AI ML you are saying, basically the first primary point to generate the data point, right? So the data point is being generated through intelligent system or else by the non-intelligent system. So the intelligent system would have some digital interfaces through which it sends the data to the data logger, or else the dumb or the legacy systems, the systems which cannot generate any data, they have to be connected with the sensors. So here you can see a lot of sensor terminals where you can add analog sensors or digital sensors to sense the data and transmit the data to the server basically. So today you call in the IoT terminology, you call these devices as gateways, right? So similarly, you have a PLCs, which are more a classic traditional PLCs, basically where all the machineries talk with each other in the big industries. Then you have a industrial HMI through which you can control these machineries and command and see the data of these. So you have industrial gateways where you have the data transmission from one machinery to another machineries basically. So you have a robotic arms. Now you can see, so these are the different products basically which are developed by multiple companies in industrial control and automation basically today, which is called Industry 4.0, which is more connected, not only connected but also have the intelligence to take the decisions partially, right? So next, I just wanted to quickly run up the mobility and energy applications. You can see the e-bikes. So today, whatever the bikes what you are using, so slowly, like you would see, all the bikes would have been with battery powered. So EVs will be coming. So then, like you have all the big vehicles which have a lot of management. So like, so your passenger buses and all those things which have these all vehicle management, driver display system, fleet management. So these are the kind of applications which are there in your commercial buses or vehicles which is used for public transportation. So these are the different types of diagnostic devices which are used in automotive and transportation industries basically. So you are not cannot be away with the EV chargers basically, and then your autonomous vehicles, right? Today, every one of you would have heard about Tesla. So how Tesla being a so young company and small company would able to beat the industry giants like GM Motors or like Ford or Mercedes-Benz or BMW, how Tesla was able to overcome or give a competition to these big companies, because they have been focusing on the EV, and then like they have been trying to do a lot of innovation around the latest technology, and then they have been adapting artificial intelligence and machine learning into their car design, right? So this is how they have been doing. So now, instead of telling the some bigger stories, I just wanted you to introduce a couple of Indian players who are in this domain, and then try to see how these from India basically these guys are doing. So the very first company I would say is the Aether. I don't know how many of you have heard about. So, but today, like whenever you want to buy a bike or scooter, you always give a two. You always have two things in your mind, that like whether I go with a traditional classic bike which runs on your petrol, or you want to have electric bike or electric scooter, right? So today it's yet to come into the market, or like yet to be more, but like the things are not so far. The kind of engineering in next 5 years or 10 years you guys use your skills to build is the next generation devices or the next generation products, right? So Aether Energy is one of the youngest company and the first company in India who has built the electric bike. You can see this is the electric scooter. I would not run the videos, but like we would share these all links to you by the session ends, by end of the session, and then you can always explore how the technologies or innovations they have built, right? So this, you can see it's a battery pack, and then you have a digital dashboard which runs on your processor and operating system. So here the Android operating system runs with the embedded processors like IMX6 or Qualcomm based processors, ARM processors basically, which are there for automotive grade, right? You can see interactive dashboard with 7-inch touch navigation, and then like it have a lot of call management, so it have a lot of facilities, right? So similarly, you have another company again from Bangalore. It's a startup company, Ultraviolet, so which have designed the electric bike. So their more innovation was in the battery pack, so where they have put a lot of innovations on this bike, wherein which they wanted to do a 100% electric bike, and that too which have a more power rather than, so the very first thing which you lose is kind of power and the number of hours it can run into the on a battery basically, right? So that's the kind of problem they wanted to solve. So this company has been already funded by TVS or Honda kind of manufacturers in India basically. So it was a startup again, so which has built this electric bike. It is more with more power and sports style basically. So the next use case I would like to give is the SunMobility. So now we discussed about the bikes, but really can we buy these bikes, right? So now you have companies like SunMobility. So you might have heard about Reva car basically, so which was by Mahindra. So Reva was the first electric car. You would see a small car. Normally you used to have the battery, the lead acid batteries used to be used, and then like still it was running. But today the mastermind behind those Reva car was Mr. Chetan, who has spinned this company, the SunMobility company, and then which provides the complete charging infrastructure. So you can see over here, so these are the charging infrastructures where you have for 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers, and you have also the charging for the big buses, the travel buses. So this is one of the leading player in your charging facilities, because once you buy your electric vehicles, the next challenge comes is for you the charging infrastructure, right? So the big companies now, SunMobility ties up with Bosch to extend its offerings, and then like bring in the ecosystem of EV. So I would try, this is a small interesting video I would like you guys to look over. So it's a short 1-hour session, so I'm not going in deep technologies, but
with mounting fuel costs and pollution issues facing cities, countries and governments year on year, SunMobility was conceived as an answer to the question, what would mass electric mobility look like? We knew it had to compete with conventional fuel. It had to be cost-effective to produce and supply, and convenient to use and buy. Introducing the SunMobility Energy Infrastructure Platform, an Indian-designed solution for moving the world onto electric mobility that has developed solutions to address multiple challenges, supplying renewable energy through a smart network of interchange stations, developing an open architecture that allows for all forms of city transport, and flexible modular interchange station that can be strategically placed in a city-wide network, designing an interoperable multi-platform battery that is easily swappable between vehicles of various types and manufacturers.
We are excited about having an electric mobility solution that can compete with fossil fuels at scale.
We built on a lifetime of experiences on renewable energy and electric vehicles to create a solution not just for India, but across the world, to fundamentally address issues on climate change, energy security, and transportation.
SunMobility is partnered in every domain, and we currently work with battery suppliers from multiple continents to looking at the integration of technology, working with software and other partners from around the world, whether it's working with mechanical, robotic solution providers, to providers of vehicles, to OEMs, rickshaws, e-autos. We have now created, in a short period of time, a large network of very committed partners.
The future of urban transportation is going to be electric, shared, connected, autonomous, and powered by renewable energy. At the core of SunMobility's solution is our smart batteries, a set of quick interchange stations, and all connected together with our smart network. The smart network connects our consumers, it connects the smart batteries, it connects their vehicles, and our quick interchange stations into one network. It allows consumers to pay as you go, it allows them to see stations in real time and access batteries. It's a solution that's global, scalable, economical, and can go anywhere around the world.
With this solution, SunMobility aims to transform the landscape of public transport.
So you would have seen basically, so whatever we have been discussing, I think being a student, so normally you hear that like there is a lot of opportunities in future for electric vehicles, but like when they will come or what is the support, you can see a kind of lot of activities which are happening. So I have just handpicked very few examples to showcase you guys that like how the ecosystem in India or the opportunities or the companies in India are growing towards the technology, and then how you are the next generation developers or the contributors to this technology development, right? So now the next generation solutions or the products, how you build and deliver to the customers is the question, is all about basically. So not only this is a small examples which I have given only purely the Indian so I have given you the example of the Indian players, but like you have sorry, the page is not opening, but like it's yeah. So here I think this is the link which we can use. So I think all of you guys might have heard about Mercedes-Benz, right? So now what is the strength of Mercedes-Benz in India basically, and how these guys are enabling the technologies in India? You can see how the manufacturing of the smart, the next generation, the carriers. So this is one of the example I would like to show, that like how MNCs are also playing a very big role in India, basically to develop the future products, the smart, intelligent products, basically in India, and then get into the Indian market, right? So today the Mercedes-Benz have different brands, basically so-called Bharat-Benz for the trucks, and then like you have direct Mercedes-Benz for the car, the autonomous cars, basically. So these all are designed, developed, manufactured for Indian market, at least in India, basically. So it have a lot of infrastructure in India. So you can see these are the industries which are really need a lot of talent from colleges and the universities, basically, and with basic skills. So what kind of basic skills? Either it could be a embedded skills, or it could be a pure software skills, or pure mechanical skills. So you need to expertise in any of these kind of skills, wherein which you can knock out these kind of companies, basically, and reach these companies, and then try to be a part of these companies. So what I will do is I will quickly slide my remaining slides, and then like probably what we will do is, so these are the kind of, so when I'm connecting these applications, so these are the different applications wherein which there are hundreds of examples and use cases, and then there are a lot of companies who develop these kind of products and solutions. Now the question is, how do you fit in these companies? How can you develop these kind of products and application is the question which we wanted to help you out, you guys, in this session, and then try to see guide you guys for your next career step. So you can see these are the kind of different application. Even if you take one autonomous vehicles, there are hundreds, not hundreds, really above hundreds of sensors now will be part of the car, more than mechanical. Earlier days, thousands of mechanical parts used to be there, but nowadays in future you would see less mechanicals, and the more sensor and the more electronic parts would be there as a part of your vehicles or cars, basically. And you need not to be surprised if you can see in most of the countries in the world by 2025 you would see the autonomous cars. That means the cars would drive themselves. The car would drive themselves, and then only you need hardly some intervention when you have to reach from your home to office, basically. So you are sitting in car, but you are not driving in car, or neither a person is driving the car. So it is very much possible by 2025. Today we are in 2020, basically. You can see in these 5 years who are the guys who would be working on these technologies. If you are the guys, then what are the things you have to learn, right? So what are the steps you have to go achieve in your career, and then get placed into these kind of applications which has to be developed for the future technologies. So there are kind of, you can see different applications. So I just wanted to realize the need of engineering, the need of talent by these industries to develop all these kind of things, basically, right? So this is we took a couple of customers from Indian Railways, basically. Today, like the more than the road transport, you prefer the air travel. So now when you are traveling on air, basically, so what are the components from a software perspective, from an electronics perspective? What are the components which are positioned on these flights and avionics, basically in the field of avionics. So there is a hell lot of opportunity. So now coming to the medical, right? So ECG machine. So today, if you are electronics students, it's not only for the electronic students, for the complete computer science guys or the IT guys or the mechanical guys. So there are a lot of opportunities where they can see the future. So these are the legacy devices, but still there will be a next generation devices which will be much more smarter. Today you have not a very accurate, but some level of ECG readings by your smart watches, right? So today you have health bands which can also do basic level of health monitoring and healthcare. So EEG machines. So for us, for me, if you ask as an electronics guy what it is, it's very simple. These all are electronics probes or the transducers which provide generate some sort of electrical signals, and this is my microcontroller board which reads the ADC inputs. So these are the nothing but ADC inputs. It has to be sampled precisely and the waveforms has to be generated. That is what your EEG machine. So similarly, you can today in pandemic, basically, so very important is your as you know, the COVID, the corona affects your respiratory system, basically. So now when you someone is affected with COVID, the very basic health devices, health monitoring devices which has to be kept in your home is pulse oximeter. You need to have glucometer, basically, right? So these are the basic devices which would comes as a part of your life. And then in each of these, if you really see some sort of software engineering, hardware engineering, basically mechanical engineering. So these are the talents which industry really needs to build these smart devices. So this is an example of your patient monitoring system, basically. So your ventilators, now you know what is the demand of ventilators as of now in COVID situation. So worldwide there have been a lot of companies who are not into these medical devices, but still they jumped into the ventilator production. So even a mechanical or a car manufacturing company also started a ventilator manufacturing by taking the IPs from different companies. So these are the kind of devices. So what I want to say is these are not the devices which has just popped up, right? Like there have been a lot of engineering, there are a lot of talent which has been put behind these devices, and then they have been designed. Right, today when you go to any hospital with some sort of disease, first of all they would write a very basic minimal tests which are done by biochemistry industries. What are the different minerals in your blood, in your body? Accordingly it can be identified what is the level of infection or the disease effect is there in your body, right? So here, if you see everywhere, you can see a role of the software engineer, the hardware engineer, software engineer, and the mechanical engineering. And now above this, the demand of artificial. So now all these devices would become more and more intelligent, not only connected, but intelligent, so that like it can talk with each other, it can prescribe you what exactly the food or kind of preliminary care you have to take before you run into the life risk, right? So you can see now there is a huge demand of agriculture. So you can see how you can automate these different applications, like spraying your chemicals, basically identify the diseases, what kind of diseases, basically, then like identifying the growth rate of your fields, basically, then like managing your water, how to water. So 50% of the agricultural or like the crops basically can be controlled with disease or are made healthy by just maintaining the proper water basically. So you can see these are the different kind of applications which would be popping up in agri-tech and IoT in agriculture, right? So now for these all, so there are apart from this industrial, there are multiple other consumer grade products, and these many of them you would have seen that like knowingly or unknowingly you are the customer and you have been using these devices in your daily life. Now as an engineer, how you participate or how you can become a developer. So from a user you need to become a developer. So now that's what the idea of this workshop was basically, wherein which we wanted to introduce. So I have given a very small number of companies today. We from Phytech started the Indian operation. So since last 8 years now, we have been connected with 2,000 similar kind of companies who are into design and manufacturing of these products. We wanted to share our experience and then the need and the opportunities which is there in next couple of years, and then how the talent in India from academics can contribute into these technologies, right? So there are a few inputs from me, wherein which I can tell you how you can become fit into these industry demands. So now you would have seen there are many companies who are producing these. Many of them was been imported from China, but today there is a strict restriction in China basically to import the intelligent devices basically, right? So how you overcome, and then this is one of the biggest opportunity in India also, wherein which it do a lot of lot of indigenous product design and manufacturing basically, right? So in this, the very first thing for electronics guys, because we are in a embedded sessions and the IoT and AI ML session, so the very first things I would say is basically so go with your basic skills. What is your basic skills, right? So what is your basic skill? Try to define your basic skills. So if you are an electronics engineer, so what is your basic electronic skills, right? Then what's your at least one of the programming language, either it is C or C++ or JavaScript or Python. So any one of the programming language expertise you need, right? So for the IT guys, again, you need to have the very basic software architecture fundamentals, and then again at least one of the programming language, at least minimum of one of the programming language expertise. So like this. Now this is very basic skills. And for the mechanical guys, at least you need to have a basic CAD tools exposure or the knowledge, mechanical basics basically. these are the kind of basic things which you need for to start your thing. So before you join any course, make sure that like you have pulled out your things what you have learned in the colleges and the universities basically, and try to brush up the things before you join in any of the course or a company basically, to build your profile. So you have to select. Then you have to go for a technology selection. So for technology selection, basically, then you have to decide whether you want to be a software engineer, developer, you want to be a hardware developer, you want to be a system developer, or you want to be an architect basically. Or you want to be a mechanical engineer. So you have to first of all select your profile. It's a profile selection. So then once you have selected this, so now for the software developer, as I said, so now you have a lot of opportunities in terms of artificial intelligence and machine learning. But where it fundamentally starts, so you have to start with some of the object-oriented concepts or the database concept. Then you want to go deep into the programming languages like C or C++ or Qt. So these are the different, and then like you have a lot of other software from a cloud perspective. So there are different directions. So now you have to really choose the profile in which you want to go and start working on that. It is not really easy to choose with a basic, if you are a final year guy, it is not very easy for you to choose this thing until and unless you have started in your first or second year, or at very early time you have started playing around with the technologies. So what you have to do is basically approach to a right mentors or approach to join some courses wherein which you can do a fundamental practical things and develop very small things basically, right? And then try to select one of the profile from this. So where you will learn, so by entering into some kind of vocational courses which are more than the basics which are taught in your industry basically, academics. Try to understand about industry, right? So such kind of one of the, so this is what all about the things which I wanted to speak. So then you have to go to the, so now when I'm not going into the next level basically, but like it is more about programming languages. If I say embedded system, under which again you will have your IoT, industrial IoT. So then you have a cloud profiles basically. Wherein which you have your again different, so you have client side and client application development, server applications. Then comes to your big data part, and then like so then your AI/ML starts, which is more your data, big data analysis, and then training the machineries. So it goes back to IoT. So from AI/ML again it can connect to the machineries, which is the best example we have shown is your robotic part, right? So when you so it's not only moving your motors or that, like it need to have a lot of artificial intelligence which will be keep on learning, right? Like from going to a specific rack, so it has to find us the lowest possible time or route without conflict to the other moving robots. So these are the kind of applications which again fall back from your software to embedded. So in our course, so now we thought of introducing these things so that like you can next level, you can learn the software, the basic software and the basic microcontroller programming, the basic cloud programming basically. So which we normally take in a weekday durations basically. So the next step is basically our team can guide you with the programming level. So whatever the applications you have seen, how you can design, develop these kind of applications, what are the skills you need. So what we will do is a next level of train you the basic, very basic things, and then how this industry. So we will take each one of the industries and then we make you to do some little bit, get a better understanding. This is a small try. Our team has tried for this session just to introduce first of all what all things are there around you, what you can be part of it basically, and how to become a developer of such kind of products and solutions and applications in these industries basically, right? So what I will do is I will take up a couple of queries, and then any of the
Vasu sir, maybe
any of the questions we have.
Vasu sir, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can go to browser and showcase our programs to help their career basically in the training section.
Yeah.
So we are conducting a 5 days workshop from next upcoming 28th. So maybe you can show. You just in the training page we have. Sir, it is a drop down. It is a drop down on the training.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 days workshop you can see. Yeah.
So the next step is once you have seen all these applications basically, so in order to understand how to implement or how to experience basically, so what we try to do is basically we took these five application verticals, and then we wanted to run some of the examples and then like make you little bit of coding. So what you can do is you can try to see the industry examples and the things, and then like do at least each day you do some sort of coding and then like knowing the concept, what really behind these all intelligent products or the smart products in the industries basically. So what we try to do is we try to introduce with the complete architecture, and each day out of these 5 days, each day basically, so you can learn each of the concept, right? So one of the concept, for example, is basically how to how you connect a device data, or send the device data to the cloud basically, and then how you can test artificial intelligence. So you can we will be introducing with many open source AIML libraries and the APIs, which you can, sitting at home using your laptop, you can try to make a hands-on experience on some or the other small component of these application, and try to understand each of these application in deep, right? So and then we also you have also the industry partners basically who would be helping you. So we have industry partners who would be helping you and guiding you during these 5 days. What are the different applications, or what are the different technologies which you can look into that, and then like try to see build your career through those technologies, right? So so the companies like ST Microelectronics, and then we use the standard. So today, when we talk about some embedded system also, or microcontroller, the first thing you would say, yeah, I know Arduino programming, or I know Raspberry Pi programming. But when you want to go and join into the industries, basically, apart from Arduino or Raspberry Pi, what are the different hardwares which are there in industry, and what kind of hardwares really used in industries basically, right? So I'm not sure how many of you are aware of these companies, right? So these are the leading chip manufacturing companies basically, and then like you have different other companies who do a lot of cloud, and then you have AIML. So we will have a lot of industry partners, and then manufacturing partners basically, so who would help you to see how you fit into this electronic design and manufacturing ecosystem in India. So how you fit into this bigger ecosystem. So this 5 days, it is a kind of a boot camp. It's a 5 days boot camp wherein which we want to help you to experience these industries by doing some sort of hands-on, not only by theory but also do some sort of hands-on, get a overview, and then which will help you to select your career into different domains. So from this I would like to conclude the session, and then if we have any questions we can take it. Ashraful, can you check in YouTube if we have any?
Yes, sir, sure. Sir, in the meantime, can you show the registration process once, or let me talk about the registration process, that how the registration will happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you, okay, I'll just share my screen. Can you please stop the screen for a second? Yeah. Hello everyone. I hope you already got introduction of mine. This is Ashraful here from Ruggedboard. I'm going to show you how to actually register for this workshop. So today, you have understood that why you exactly need to go and how to find out that what is the difference. I mean, what is the lag of your skills to go to this kind of industries, whatever was showing today. So I will just showcase how to actually register for this workshop. So let me just click on register now here. If we click on register now, it will show me the registration form, and here all the things are written like support, then how many days, okay, and the fees, all the things has been mentioned. Now you start filling your details one by one. Now here one thing is, like, if you start filling your details pre-filled one, if you put, it may not work. Okay, so you have to fill it all the things one by one. And just a second, I'll try to fill one. Okay. Okay, now if I click on checkout, right? So what will happen is it will go to another page where it will showcase your details, all the details like the email ID, then your name, country, and especially the phone number. You have to verify these things once again and check the price here mentioned. Okay, you book for one quantity, and now you just click on continue. After you click on continue, you will get this page that thank you so much for your order, and you can pay through multiple options here. So in this case, you can pay through either PayU Money Gateway, where you can just click on this and open in a new tab, and you will get the PayU Money link. And in PayU Money, you can just type amount. You can write 475, and you can write your description, email address, and proceed for the payment. So once you complete your payment, you just come here and click on pay now. Okay, that's it. After that, you will get a mail in your inbox that the registration has been confirmed, and you got your your seat is booked. Otherwise, you can also do, if you don't want to do the online payment, you can go for the NEFT, or else you can write a check also in the name of Fitech Embedded Private Limited. Okay, that's it for the registration. It is very easy process. I hope you will be starting registration very soon. So Srinivas will be sharing a mail to everyone, and even I will also share the link in the chat, so that it will help you to register for the workshop. And I hope you enjoyed the session today, and it will be really helpful for you to participate in the paid session of our workshops. So yeah, Vasu sir, you have seen the questions in YouTube. I could not see actually by that time. If anyone has any questions.
Not many. I think people don't have because we didn't got into the technology part, I believe. So most of the people are from technical background. I don't see any of the queries. So I think we will wait for the feedbacks. Probably we can share the feedback link, so you can enable the in the training page. You can enable, if you can enable the comment session, so they can comment on the same page in case it is possible.
Yeah. Right now they can comment in our YouTube channel. I'm just sharing the YouTube channel YouTube video link, so that you can go there and give us. Just a second, I'll give you the link there.
So thank you very much. Thank you to all. So it has been a great evening together. I believe at least you were able to identify a couple of applications.
Yeah, there is a question like, is the workshop is practical or the offline training? So how is the workshop? So the workshop will be
going.
yeah, Vasu sir, you can continue.
Yeah, so this workshop would be more, it's a 5 days online training basically. So in which we wanted to take some case studies, industry case studies, and then like take a small technical module out of that case study, and then help you to develop the same or to test the same on your PC. So it is limited, so we will pick couple of modules from those case studies. So we, for 5 days, we will be going to each case study. So example, the first day we go with the industry 4.0 case studies, and then we will try to take 1 or 2 modules which you can develop using your PC. So it's an online plus practical session basically.
Yeah,
It's not an offline training, it's an online training. Because of due to pandemic, we are not conducting any on-site training, so all the trainings would be online trainings.
yeah, if anyone has any questions, you can ask now, or else like we'll try to wind up the session and wait for your feedback on our YouTube channel. I have given the link in our in the chat option, and you can go to our YouTube channel and give us the feedback. And also one more thing is, I have given the this 5-day workshop link on the chat box, so you can quickly go and register. So we will be starting the session very soon. That is nothing but 28th of this month. So you please register and book your seat as soon as possible. So yeah, I hope we have come towards the end of the session, and I thank everyone for participating today, and especially thanks to Vasu sir for your valuable training material, and I hope everyone liked it, and definitely they will like basically. And in case anyone has any questions, you can always fall back on us, and also you can fall back to our forum basically, where you can put questions, if any kind of questions, if you want to know about training or about the boards or any kind of things basically, we will definitely support you. So thank you very much, and we would like to see you on the next sessions very soon and on the workshops basically. Thank you very much. Vasu sir, you want to say something before we wind up?
No, we would be excited to see you guys on our 5 days workshop, where in which our focus is mainly to demonstrate you a couple of industrial IoT case studies with demos, and also give you a kind of a hands-on feeling on couple of modules from those case studies.
Yeah. So thank you very much. With this, let me wind up today's sessions. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you.